Oh, there we go. Ah, okay. I think I added myself. Is this what you do when you're trying to, try something new? Okay, let's see. Are we live? Are we live? Okay. That'll teach me. Trying to use a different platform today. Okay, so let's go on the channel. If you can. Oh, good. Oh, John's here. Hello. So, can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Okay. Oh, good. Okay, I'm trying now. Hi, John. How are you? Hope you're doing well. What you been up to today? You're the first one on. Let's see if you've been the only one on today. Has it been a good week? I've got a drink today. Sunday night one. Oh, awesome. Okay, good. Hi there, Travis. Oh, good to have you on as well. I see you've been going through the videos, looking through a few of them. Whereabouts are you guys based? I know I hope I have most people from the US. It seems to be the big, your guitar is so much. Well, if you want to play us something, unfortunately, I can't see you, but I have to take your word for it that you're playing it. Actually, if you're gonna do that next time, that's the thing with this StreamYard thing. I can actually have people come on and come on live as well and play. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Do you know what? Let's go straight in. America, like what is going on? What is happening? It's just been so much happening. I mean the protests have come on here as well. So there's been some cities in the UK that are protesting as well today. Let me cough just a sec. Hi, Fede. Miami. Oh, good to have you on as well. So you guys have had some protests too, right? You know, we are sort of watching and seeing what's going on. It's an up. Oh yes, I know. I know. I mean, I think most people saw that video of what was happening, and it was just shocking to see that someone could do that, and clearly not the first time. They're not the first time. It's hard to gauge how much to say on this sort of stuff because, of course, like you hear about the history of America, but when you're not there, like you don't know the experience particularly sort of in detail. I mean, each country has their own problem. I've experienced some stuff here in the UK. It's quite subtle, they're quite subtle with stuff like that, but it seems to be it was horrific. I think I cried. I cried watching that. I just, yeah, I think it's hard not to cry, or maybe that's just me. Oh well, John, you know, I mean, we are hopefully, yeah. Do you know what? It pretty much reminds me of Watchtower sometimes, but just a bit more in your face. They're not. I mean, you guys know best what it's like, right? What sort of city is Minneapolis? Because I mean, I say this is where I'm showing off how terrible my geography is. Like things seem to be sort of worse in the south versus the north. Is that right? Yeah, that's sort of what I've been hearing. But you guys, let me know. Is that like in the middle? But there is really no excuse for what happened, and the US is a cult as well. Interesting. Okay. What makes you say that? because it's a big place, isn't it? There's a lot of people. I mean, with all the COVID stuff, there's been talk about there being some sort of cabal that's in charge of everything. I usually don't know how to take stuff like that. It's like I want some evidence, but yeah, this year has just been it's been quite something. It's been a mess. So yeah, and it's only May. May is just finishing, so we've got another. Uh, I've heard that. I've heard that you don't think you'll change anything. It's one of those times where you hope you're wrong, isn't it? Because clearly, yeah, it's not the first time it's happened, and there's been previous cases. And as I've been looking into this, there's a lot of those that things haven't really come out of it. They've pretty much just gotten away with it. Yeah, it's far too frequent, and I've heard the word come up systemic, like it's part of the system where people feel bold enough to do stuff like that. And the history with America, it's just I see it. I see it. There is a lot of anger. Absolutely, there's a lot of anger, and you can't blame them. You can't blame them. It's just a shame that it has to happen at all. And I'm completely thinking of you guys. Like I said, I know we've had some protests here today in some of the big cities, and I think they're planning some more. Fortunately, I think our normal police aren't allowed to carry weapons, so hopefully people will be safer. But yeah, there's only so much you can push people before. Yeah, police state. It's a whole big mess, isn't it? It's a whole big mess. You just you caught people at the wrong time, which sort of leads me to what I wanted to talk about. I went on JW.org as I was sort of preparing for this, and they brought back the title of the Four Horsemen, and it's just like, are you really gonna try and take advantage of what's happening and cause even more fear? Where they're referencing their book in Revelation, where the four horsemen, there's going to be war, there's going to be sickness, there's going to be stuff like that. So they're the only ones being recorded. Yeah. Yes. I mean, even the ones that we do see, a lot of them get ignored. So I have recently just started looking at Twitter, and oh my goodness, there is so much more that's filmed that they don't even get the outrage. So like people get numb eventually. But I don't know what it is about this one. That's just it's extended. It's physical. It's you see someone that had a chance to stop it, but they just I don't know, didn't care. I think that's just what's so brutal. Like you could see it could be stopped. You could see there were people telling them, okay, you can stop now. This is getting out of hand. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I can't imagine what that must be like. Frustrating. Yes, definitely. COVID, yes. Yeah. So that whole thing's a mess, isn't it? There's some people who were even thinking it's all a hoax, and it's just a whole control thing. Let's just see how this year pans out. It's gonna be crazy. Anything good that's been happening, guys? Anything sort of going well in there somewhere? It has been good, I think, to see sort of the amount of support that there's been as well, sort of from the community. So the people protesting, it's been quite diverse. which is good. I think I've even seen some as well where some police units are deciding to join in. I mean, at the moment, that's only a small minority, but it is there. Frustrated. So, are you guys still on lockdown then in Miami? What's things like? Yeah. I mean, I know your president probably doesn't help the situation sometimes, from what I've seen. Okay, so you're sort of out. I wish I could invite you guys in so that we can have a two-way chat. That's what I'm gonna try and do next time, because StreamYard can actually do that, where you can have a video call. Everyone's wearing masks. Yeah. Okay. Let me show some comments. Still, okay. Oh my gosh. What's the whole thing about is stopping breathing? Here it's not being enforced at all. Like, you can wear it, you can't, it's completely optional. Living free of the illusion. So is this about the virus itself, or is it about the gun laws, this living free? I'm interested to hear your thoughts. There's a lot of things, isn't there? Well, John, if this is about the people protesting, there's been a lot of... It's a tough one. It's a tough one because on the one hand, the people have every right to be angry, but it's channeling it in a way that's going to, I guess, have the most impact. Yes, is taking items the best way to do it? Probably not, but you're dealing with people that have been upset for a really long time. Marching. That is true. That is true. It has been going on for a while. Yeah, it has. I don't know. It's so hard. It's so hard. No, you're fine. It's fine. Miami's sunny. Excellent. Excellent. To be fair, it has been quite good here as well. No longer believing in dogma. Good for you. That's one of the best things, isn't it? I think I've made a video about this. One of the best things to come out of this is that you can actually now look at information for what it is and see if there's reason to actually believe it, if there's merit, if it's justified, if it makes sense, and you don't have to take it just because that person said it. And you can actually think things through for yourself. That's one of the best things to come out of this. Yeah. You were born into... Yeah, same. So when did you leave? Is it quite recent, or have you had some time to process things? What got you out? What did it for you? It'd be good to know. I'm saying go back to that Four Horsemen, because I can't believe that at a time like this, that's been pushed forward, and it's one of the worst things, the fact that they take advantage of people in times where things are hard, where things are difficult, and just sort of go in and heighten the fear and pose themselves as the people that are going to be the solution to the problem rather than actual solutions. Let's see. Very bad as well, John. You're fine. Yeah, well, this one sort of goes back to your president, right? And the general atmosphere. And I don't know why it took however many days before the guy was actually charged. It doesn't make sense, and that just makes people more angry. Learning about customer. Yes. Do you know, I actually came to this much later on, but it's really good, isn't it? It's sort of that whole questioning and finding out why people think what they think. I really like that. You were never baptized. Lucky you. So I'm guessing, oh, I don't know. Actually, some people, even if they did get baptized, they still go through shunning. They still go through shunning. If you don't like being controlled, then you're not going to do well in there because they don't like people thinking for themselves, do they? And so I think for me, looking back, I don't think I've ever had a chance to think about it, because growing up in Nigeria, it wasn't even an option that you would leave. It wasn't even a consideration. So it wasn't a case of thinking. I was just trying to make myself be convinced of it, which didn't work very well. But I sort of did the actions, because there's a lot of things you do, a lot of works that you do. You get into the routine of the meetings, and Saturday you go out preaching and all this stuff that you do. You get baptized usually at the age of 12, or I think that's what I was. And it was just ticking the boxes and trying really hard to kind of believe it. So how you manage to get out of getting baptized, that's awesome. Lacked empathy. Yeah. It's the way I see it, they are sort of just as much a victim of the stuff. I mean, of course, except for the ones that actually actively take part in abusing people. A lot of them were probably born in themselves and not had a chance to think about it. Doesn't excuse it though, because as at the point you become an adult, it's especially when you have access to information, there's really no excuse to not know better and do better. But yeah, congratulations. How have you found life sort of outside? I hope you've not lost any family members for kind of leaving. It's a dicey situation. Yeah. So who else likes the get that read the Revelation its grand climax book? Because when I think about this sort of time, that's what my mind goes to, and the craziness of that book, and the pictures, and the number of times we had to study it as well. Just going through it over and over again and trying to make sense of the mess that are in there. Oh, your parents still pressure you. Okay, same. Yeah. What's that like? Do you, if so? For me, it helps that we don't live in the same country, so that's really helpful in terms of the amount of pressure, and the communications massively reduced. Not a lot of it. That book was scary, no kidding. Some of those pictures, the one with the harlot and however many heads she had coming out of it, I used to have, I don't know, not quite nightmares, but like I can't unsee that. I can't unsee that. And to think that that was okay for kids. I think there was a case recently in Sweden, I think maybe just the last week or so. They've just had a ruling where someone actually took them to court to say, this material that you're showing in your conventions, it's not appropriate. It needs to be rated so that parents can make a better call on whether this is right for kids or not. And so I think he had some success there. Don't quote me on that, but I think and even just the broadcasting, the JW broadcasting for the month of May, Stephen Lech had to talk about it and basically double down on it, saying we can't water down scripture, and we hear your concerns. We don't actually show acts of violence being done, but the imagery is there, and the kids are seeing that, and they have crazy imagination to, I think I had a video where this boy is meant to be thinking about the end of the system coming and picturing what it's going to be like. The whole Elijah, Elisha scenario where they're in the middle, and all of the soldiers sort of surrounding them from whoever they were fighting at that point. The battle was full of too many people fighting. I've lost track. But then sort of modern day analogy where they are imagining they are going to be caught in the middle with military surrounding them, and it's just that's not the sort of image you want to leave with a child. You know, it's not healthy. It's not healthy. Hi, Cheryl. Oh, you made this one. Hope you're staying safe. Whereabouts are you? I've just been saying, what's happening in America, guys? What is going on? It's like this spring's come off, and everyone's got something to say, you know. And we've had it here as well. How's your week? Hope you're doing well. I feel like I know you because you've been there sort of from quite early on, and I've loved reading your comments. So I'm glad you could make it today. All I really had on my list was just the fact that the Four Horsemen story is been put back in front, and it's being used as something to terrify people. I mean, they're still holding on to, you know, Christ came in 1914, was appointed king, and now there's going to be death, there's going to be sickness. Well, here's all of this, and it's just the worst possible time to be adding that to scaremonger people, and it's just. I know the year's been crazy, but you know, there's no need to make people even more scared. Who else has a drink like I do, by the way? Am I the only one? Who else is drinking something? And hoping to hear some good stuff. What's something good that's happened this month? Like something good that's happened. I know we've all been home. Here's something good. So for me, I guess, well, I've had to be home with my son a lot more. So that has been good. I can't say he's loved it the whole time. being bored because I have had to keep working, and so it's like a bit of working, a bit of parenting, and so when I'm working, he's by himself, and that's not fun. But other than that, you know, it's been good. Let's see, manipulation. Yes, it's like a classic strategy, isn't it? Classic strategy where you bring people to their knees, even with problems that are there or not there, and then you offer yourself as the solution to it. And it's the whole thing of going to people when their faculty of reasoning, when they're in fear, then you're less likely to critically think about stuff, and that's what's so sinister. And they don't even make it a secret, you know. I keep talking about their videos, but I have one they made where a father and son were out preaching, and the man sort of slammed the door shut, and he said, "Oh, don't worry, it might be a better time, because when they got me, I just lost a friend, and so, you know, you never know." And it's not a secret to target people when they're going through a hard time for something that can't be evidenced. So yeah, it's manipulation 101. That's what got my dad as well, because he wasn't born in, so they got him. JD with honey and ice. Oh, that sounds nice. So JD Jack Daniels, is that right? I am out of the going out scene, guys. I am out of the. I mean, even without quarantine, I am out of the going. I don't know what people are drinking and doing. Having a kid to do that to you. Keep you at home. Oh gosh. I don't know if John's still on to do his guitar. Just said next time I'm gonna put him on live. We're gonna have a bit of music. No Kingdom melodies, guys, because there's this lady on YouTube. I think her name is Bridget Fister, and she has a series where she runs through the Kingdom songs. I don't know what else to call them, and sort of analyzes the words, and it's hilarious. It's hilarious. What convinced my dad to join? So, oh, hold on, let me get the right comment. So there was the civil war in Nigeria, sort of in the late 60s to 70s, and he lost his mom. So around that time, and he was the firstborn, and in that culture, when you're the firstborn, it's a lot of responsibility. And so we had a combination of that and all this responsibility, and sort of around that time, that's when they sort of got him out of the mess. And it's that thing where you get into somewhere that seems to be giving you hope, right? That everything's going to be okay, everything's going to come back to normal, you are going to see them again, because there's the whole resurrection of righteous and the unrighteous thing, isn't it? And that he most likely would have been told that he's likely to see her again, because probably not had a chance to hear the message herself. And just sort of around that time, unfortunately, I don't know, it's not really made a difference, because he has stayed in. He was the only one of his family to actually join. But yeah, and he stayed, and once you're in, it's hard. But I have hope for him. But if he's happy there, I don't know, it's complicated. It's complicated. Also, yes to this comment, Travis. I am right there with you. I'd rather know what's true than to be lied to. We're not kids. Which is something. Oh, you lost me for a bit, John. Oh, I don't know why. I'm glad you're back though. They like to keep people as children, isn't it? You're meant to be childlike. And so, which is why you end up with stuff that you're not allowed to see, rules that you're meant to be living by, but you don't know what they are, like in the Elders book and stuff like that. I hope I'm not losing people. Yeah. So I'm right there with you, Travis. No, I'd rather know. And it's like ripping off a band-aid, isn't it? It's like ripping off a band-aid. I think next time I'm going to have a whole list of stuff and probably be more comfortable. Hopefully the world has calmed down a little bit by the time we have a live stream at the end of June, because this is not sustainable. Hopefully, I don't know what the new normal is going to be, what that's going to look like, if there's such a thing. This is just unprecedented times. Yeah. Let's see, what's that one? Well, that book has been shelved now. It's not really being paraded about anymore. But back then in the 90s, we studied it at least 2 or 3 times. Just going up. I did used to be fascinated, but 90s, 2000s, around the same time that they're part of the UN and condemning it. Yeah, around the same time. They have had to change some doctrine recently. It's the doctrine keeps changing. So that you clearly don't have a final answer. How dare you punish people for disagreeing with you? Paradise is impossible in the physical world. Well, I think, yeah, maybe if you're thinking on a global scale, yeah, possibly. I like to think we can create our own mini version, you know. I mean, the whole concept of paradise. Well, where did that even come from? You know, does it need to be perfect? I think it's pretty clear that things are not going to be 100% what we want. I like to hope we can create pockets of it, pockets of it. Grieving, but yeah, I'd like to know what you think, John. Giving illusion is yeah. hmm I I'm sure a lot of us would probably share the same story, especially those of us born in and sort of had to have that ripped off. The period of doing the research and finding out all about the background, the history, that was rough. I felt like I was spinning, well, just spinning out of control, and then the feeling of being lost right after then, going, now what, what now? If that's not true, then what? Because for me, it wasn't just the religion, it was the Bible, it was the whole thing. And but the liberation does come sort of afterwards. It does come afterwards, where when you make peace, it's like you're going through, is it 5 stages or 7 stages of grief, whatever it is, where starting from denial and then work your way up to, okay, it's gonna be okay. So it sounds like a lot of Cheryl, let me put that up. That is funny. Oh, this house. So, so the kind of men, angels type. So no, it's actual horses, but the people that are riding them, the creatures that are riding them, are so apparently one of them is Jesus. So he shows up first, which apparently was in 1914 when he was crowned. And then he was swiftly followed by the one that represented war, and which is well, there you go. We had the First World War, and then we had the Second World War, and there's been wars ever since. Never mind the fact that this is probably in the history of mankind. This is probably we're going through a time where we don't like have countries in direct conflicts, like in the grand scheme of things. Like things are quote unquote peaceful. But yeah, so you have war, and then we have one that represents disease. And they say, well, you had the Spanish flu in 1918, and there's been lots of diseases since then, and it's sort of carrying on. And I think they had one that was death as well. So it's all sort of in Revelation, but it's just the fact that they had it, right in front of their page at a time like this, and like we said, offering themselves up as, well, here's the solution. It's just quite manipulative, I think. But did you study the book, Cheryl? Did you have the pleasure of studying that book of 11th generation? Oh my gosh. Oh, where do you even start with that? Were you still in when they came out with that, Travis? So I had left when they came up with that stuff, so I was quite surprised. I was quite surprised to see, yeah, that was the case, because when I was in, I remember it being the generation of 1914 wouldn't pass away, and now the generations shifted. Yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess. But it's that thing. There has to be people in there that think, oh, this doesn't make sense. But then you think, well, where am I going to go? And so you stay. Okay, so John, is this what you meant by there's no paradise physically? That is true. That is true. But I think you're making the most of the time. I think that's what we can all do, isn't it? Make the most of the time we have here. Let's see what's this one. Revelation. There are a lot of people who say that. That it's a man sort of having hallucinations about things, whatever he was on. Um, yeah. For me, it's just sort of taking the book as a whole, taking it as a whole on its own merit. What it says, does it stand up to scrutiny with the world that we understand versus what it claims to be? And it just didn't add up. And when you have people, don't get me wrong, there's some bits that say nice things, but there are lots of books that bits say nice things. Yeah, it doesn't mean they're going to claim to be from the creator of the universe. Um, yeah, yeah, it's when you're trying to live your life by it, then you run into problems because you end up having to pick and choose. Because if you take everything literally, um, there'd be a lot of illegal things that you'd be doing. Okay, most of our time here, that is it. What was you guys favorite bit of that Revelation book? Can we even call it favorite? But I guess the craziest sort of interpretation that you heard, because that was what sort of stood out to me. Just looking recently on what they had on their page, they had stuff about stress as well. And it's funny, I used to think that's so timely, especially when you had the Awake magazines that was more, I guess, public facing. When they switched to have study edition, public edition, and the Awake was always sort of more public facing, and it seems to be more into current affairs and science, and being um, into science myself. I I I used to be into that newsflash, Sheriff. Oh, you could have had me for. I don't know why I just guessed that. I don't know. Maybe because most of my subscribers were. So like a much bigger percentage, and so and what? So whereabouts are you? I'm truly shocked, Cheryl. Truly shocked. Uh, she's making you let me know where you are from. Well, that's good. I've got an international bunch today. I got an international bunch. Okay, cool. Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty disgraceful. They've taken advantage of people's fears at a time like this. And I am in groups where people are terrified about this stuff and having anxiety and panicking. The last thing they need to hear is that some people have no way of possibly knowing for sure that this is anything, sort of making claims and telling people that their only chance is to join their group. It's reckless. But like John has said, we need to make the best of the world. Absolutely. Um, we've all got to do our bit. Do what someone like whatever his name, Derek Chauvin, or just that sort of recklessness. It just doesn't help, and sometimes you despair for what people can actually do. The human race is can be brilliant sometimes, other times can be just appalling. Okay. Anybody else have any crazy revelation story? Because that was what stood out to me. If you have any family and friends still getting scared by it all, yes, absolutely. Yes, should be treated as such. It is a gift indeed. But the idea of gifts suggests a gift giver, but I don't know. a gift giver. Sure. Oh, okay, this one. Oh, that one. Oh, I'm trying to picture what the cover looks like now. But I recall having a lot of pictures. So did you join as an adult, or so this is for Fede? I hope I'm saying that right. I hope I'm not butchering that. Did you join as an adult? The books from my childhood, definitely my book of Bible stories, that bright yellow, that was always there. That was front, left, and center of everything. That has some horrific pictures as well, which at the time I was desensitized to them. But actually, looking back, I go, I would never have my son sort of looking at that and being okay with it. Oh, fresh out of high school. Oh, bless you. Yeah, yeah, that's quite a that's like the time when you're really forming your personality, you know. You're forming who you are, you're a young adult and you're trying to figure things out. But you made it out. So that's great. What got you out? What got you? Which by the way, if any of you are interested in like sort of being interviewed, happy to do that. You can set something up if you're happy to share your story sort of in a video. That's the background, because like the more different backgrounds people can hear, the more they can realize that you can come out. Yes, you thought it'd be cool. Yeah, it does sound cool. Pipe dreams that they sold us, but yes, I hear you. I hear you. Okay. Oh, I thought I'd be on for half an hour. It's like 43 minutes, something like that. So, yeah, next time we're going to have a whole list of topics I'm going to talk about, but and hopefully the world will be a bit less crazy. You no longer believe in, oh, you made it to ministry of servant. Okay, so you did work your way up a bit. Yeah, keep it coming. What got you out? Yes. So I think, Travis, you made a comment about this, right? No longer believing in the concept of sin, but in sort of actions and consequences, something like that. And I mean, I don't know how you define sin. I think for me, it's there's certainly no sort of deferring to any higher being that's gonna judge whether something's right or wrong. If I've offended someone, I want to apologize to them. It's them I've done something to, not some being that may or may not be there. What's your sort of take on it now? Is it sort of a similar thing? And Teddy, I want to hear what got you out, what got you questioning. Oh, we can do it in a video if you want to have an interview. Ah, thanks, Jen. I don't know. I don't feel like it. I don't feel like it, but thank you. You guys are interactive, so that's good. That's good. Thank you. Baby steps. Baby steps. So Fede was in 1914. Oh, yeah. Is that what got you out? You started to do the math, or yeah. Someone that was old enough in 1914 to know what was happening. I don't think there's that many of them alive right now. I guess, which is why the overlapping had to happen. So, and now there's no limit. I wonder where they're going to go next. Being born. Yeah. So just about this, there is this video. I don't know if you've heard of a guy called Seth Andrews. It's this really powerful video that he made, and it's like talking to a newborn baby and just saying, welcome to this world, or by the way, you've done this terrible thing, or you're liable for this terrible thing, and don't worry, I fixed it. You just got to do exactly as I say, and if you don't, there's punishment for you. And just putting it like that, it's like we wouldn't do that. We wouldn't, not even the person's child, and make them pay for it. Never mind however many generations later. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. So the 1914 was one among many. Okay. John says you're on to the next. Not so fast, John. You've got a guitar to play. You're not going anywhere. Oh dear. Not so fast. You want you to stick around. Yeah, I know. It's like Christopher Hitchens would say, I've got this gift. You have to take it. And if I don't, I'm going to have to kill you. Oh, okay. Not quite then. Not quite a free gift. And actually, scrap that. It's not even that it's the God offering it. It's people telling you that is offered it. You don't have any actual evidence that is offering. So it's people just like you who well, unless they have access to some sort of special channel that you don't know about, which if you don't know about it, you can't be expected to just accept it. So it's not even like the God is telling you, it's people telling you through people through a book that was written however long ago. It's just, yeah, exactly. It's like Chinese whispers, is it what they call it? Where the story starts as one thing, and by the time it gets to how many people down, it's a completely different thing, and you don't know what the first thing was. And you're meant to sort of center your whole life around that. It's tough. So obviously, like we've got families, friends, and you can understand. I think one of the hardest things is people who really find comfort in that. And what do you do? And there's people who say they have personal experiences as well, that they had personal experiences that they've interpreted as this is that. You can't what's the word I'm looking for? You can't tell people they didn't experience what they say they did. You might not agree with their interpretation of it, but their experience is their experience. And so I guess the point is, I don't think religion's going anywhere anytime soon. It's going to be here for a while. And it's just the point where it becomes harmful, where it becomes dangerous, where it is, demonstrably causing harm, like we have in the case of the witnesses, like we had in the case of, I guess, mainstream Christianity, centuries ago, when they could get away with anything. Yeah, you feel it's hard not to feel like that. Yeah, it's hard not to feel like that. Yeah, I have been there. Don't set me off. So that's really hit home. Yeah, it's really hit home, because when you're a child, you're not really thinking yet, are you? You're not really thinking yet. Those of us who are born in, you're not. Yeah, yeah, and you miss out on so much that you don't get a chance to do. But we're here now. We're here now, and we know what's happening. And we can re-raise ourselves reparent ourselves and try and fill in those gaps, those things that were missed out. We can actively seek out how to fill those gaps and make up for time that was lost as much as possible. Um, yep, John, couldn't agree more. Yeah, need help. Yeah, that's part of why I started talking. That's part of why I started speaking up, because it's there's the loss of faith, there's the loss of family as well. Your family is who that's your people. That's supposed to be your people. And when you lose them as well, it's really tough. And that's why we're out here online saying, no, you're not crazy. It does get better eventually. See what works for you. It's just, yeah, it's heavy. It's heavy. You give really. Do you know? I hear you. I hear what you're saying, but there is just a set of people that they hold on to this stuff. Maybe it might change a bit, sort of how they do it. I think they'll probably always be fundamentalist people. Maybe less than that. I think it might just change into a different way, but I don't know that it's going to go away completely, but I'm hopeful. That would be nice. And then maybe we can base our morals on, what's actually best for our fellow human being, and see people how we want to see them, because it's gone on for too long. The horses are tired. Time to put them out to pasture. Well, it's not in their hands, No, wait, the members are sheep, Cheryl. It's the sheep. The sheep are working. Yeah. And then the horses, that's Jesus, that's making them work, or Jehovah, that's making them work. Yeah. But if you're talking about them, their material, it's same old content, just being recycled over and over again. Nothing new. So there's a lot of tired stuff going on. There's a lot of tired stuff. I feel like I'm catching this late. Innocent victims. Yeah. The last part of the last part of the last part. Stephen Let didn't know what he was getting himself in for when he said that, isn't it? That is going to haunt them. It's going to haunt them. Yes, John, but I'll put this up first. Travis, I'm happy to hear it. That's really good. I don't know how long it's been since you left. I think from my experience, recovery, whatever you want to call it, is an active process. I don't know that it can just happen. I'm sure maybe for some people it has. It just depends on how quickly, I guess, you want to move forward. It's not just a case of time heals things, because I've heard of people that have been out for decades and they still, not quite handle it. And sometimes it needs to be an active process of, I want to wipe this slate clean. I'm gonna do this to get there and make it start. I know you can do it. You can do it. Yes, but they won't agree with that. They won't take that. As far as they know, they're trying to save you. They're trying to save. Al-Anon, who's that? I feel like I should know. Oh, oh yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Oh, so would you use it? Would you use something like that? Just I don't know. There should be there should be a support group. So one of the groups I'm in, empowered Jehovah's Witness or something like that. Narcotics, yes, I've heard of that one. So it's all about moving on. It's all about sort of going forward, taking those next steps, and it's a bit more, yeah, sort of more focused on that. And I think the person who runs the group has program that is put together as well, and to support that, I have purchased that as well. But there's so much stuff out there. Others, yeah. It's a special experience, isn't it? It's a special type of experience that you have just from being in. I guess that's part of why, or maybe it's just me, where you always feel like you're on the outside. And I think people keep getting kicked out and coming back in. I don't know what's happening. I'm so sorry. Lots of addicts. Yeah, well, makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think I had a video about alcoholism, which is being that alcohol is one of the few pleasures they're allowed, and they need to, I don't know, whatever reason, just something that's just fun, just something to do, or trying to numb stuff out. Since I feel like we're sort of family here, so I can talk. That was something that nearly got me as well. It took getting pregnant and having to have that period of time where I could get a detox, like stop completely, to really to assess things properly. So yeah, I'm not surprised. Especially when you do get out, it's painful. Oh, that's amazing. Are you there right now? That is my kind of weather. I think I came to the wrong place. I came to the wrong place. Although the UK is all right at the moment. Hopefully it'll be all right for another few months. We're going to be allowed out from tomorrow. Well, not allowed out, but can meet in small groups. So this is my kind of weather, where the sun's shining. It's so good. You have the sun on you. Talking about the weather, who's been watching the launch of the what's it called? Dragon something? Elon Musk launched yesterday. Got some men to the International Space Station. I thought that was really cool. Just change the topic there. The stuff small. Was that just in 73? Oh, I didn't know that, John. Oh, that would explain stuff. I have some questions. I have some questions because my dad used to. Oh, okay, 73. So it's fairly recent then. So for example, I know that they used to do Christmas at some point, and it's just okay. Oh, John, you took the fun, didn't you? You took the, as soon as you came in, they stopped. You saw, Fede, you saw the, yeah, no, I was watching it with my son yesterday, because they had it been streamed live. That was really cool. Now that is how you do something that you can call something remarkable. Not you built a kingdom hall. You made a building, and it's remarkable, and it must have been Jehovah's hand. That is stuff that you do that you say, wow, that's impressive. So it was pretty exciting to see that, and that they've docked and it all went well. So that was crazy. That's something good. I think we're going to finish on something good. I don't know how much good it's going to do mankind. I was trying to explain to my son. It's like, well, why are they going up there? like, you never know. The earth's getting full. I'm sure they're keeping an eye on things. I mean, there's stuff that the ISS does, but our whole interest in other outside Earth, basically, if there is a possibility of life somewhere else, because we might need the space at some point. I don't know. Try next when the kids asking you why. But yeah, I think that's a good place to end. We've been on for an hour. It's so good you guys came on and had a catch up with me. I feel like I've had a social life now. A bit of socialization, and before we go back to work tomorrow. So it's been good to have you guys. Everybody stay safe, stay well, especially you guys in America, although it's sort of kicking off everywhere now, and you know about time or something. Hopefully with less damage. Yeah. Good. Thanks, Jen. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Right. I will see you on Wednesday. I'll put something out on Wednesday. Take care, everyone. And like I said, if you want to be interviewed, let me know. That'd be good. And subscribe if you haven't. Okay. Speak to you soon.